prepared for what I'm going to bring to the table, and I'm just too sharp, too clean, punch way too hard, power in both hands.
I was streaming, I just shut the curtains because I was like nervous type stuff, but now it's like I embrace it because I always dreamed of this. That's why I don't never shy away from it. That's what I'm here to do. You know what I mean, to show out, so.
Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
The tension in the room is electric as Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis sit across from each other, locked in a stare that speaks louder than words. Jake radiates confidence, his voice steady but sharp as he declares that this moment is the culmination of everything he's worked for. Years of athletic competition, countless hours of training, and an obsession with proving doubters wrong all have led him here. Jake insists he's not coming to participate, he's coming to dominate. He believes he's evolved beyond the YouTuber label and grown into a true contender. But Gervonta Davis remains calm, composed, and quietly dangerous. There's no need for theatrics. His words are simple but chilling. He has the total package: power, precision, and experience. The kind that ends fights with a single punch. Davis's confidence doesn't come from talk, it comes from history. He's walked this path before, and he knows exactly how it ends.
I know what I've learned in the past year with my new coaches, the shape I'm in, the power I possess, and I'm just...
Gervonta Davis is the embodiment of a complete fighter. His explosive speed, immaculate timing, and lightning reflexes make him unpredictable and deadly. Every movement he makes has purpose. Every punch carries danger. Analysts point out that Davis doesn't just hit hard, he hits smart. He reads opponents like a book, anticipating their every move before they even commit. His footwork is surgical, his defense airtight. When he steps inside the ring, he's not guessing, he's calculating. Tank believes that his skill set isn't limited to brute power, it's about control, mastery, and precision. That's why he's not just another fighter in the division, he's the measuring stick for greatness.
His training is taking a toll, but the cure is just as bitter as what ails him.
I know I gotta do it. 5 minutes?
5 will be good enough for you.
They definitely went to the kids store and get this.
That water ain't cold. We know that.
I know, but...
Get in the water, man. Just get in the water.
You can't sit on the edge.
Man, just get in there, man.
No, give me the...
The upcoming collision between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis has split the boxing world in half. It's a meeting of two realities, one shaped by celebrity ambition, the other by lifelong dedication to the craft. Jake Paul brings size, youth, and brute strength. Gervonta Davis brings speed, ring IQ, and championship experience. This fight isn't just about weight classes, it's about worlds colliding. Experts note that Jake Paul's physical size gives him a natural edge and raw power, a heavier frame that can absorb punishment and deliver crushing blows. But power without timing is chaos. And that's where Davis reigns supreme. His reflexes, honed through years in the gym and countless rounds with elite fighters, give him an edge that no weight advantage can erase. It's not just a contest of muscle versus speed, it's a test of who can impose their reality on the other.
He spars people that are much heavier than him. And, man, that upper.
Well, who do you got?
I would have to bet on Gervonta, because for all the little things, all that, and the fact that he's not old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he makes up for the weight situation.
Okay, so this is the first time that Jake Paul's fighting an actual boxing champion, an active, young boxing champion. Everyone else he's fought was either way older or like, was it Tommy Fury, I think?
Yeah, he was a legitimate boxer.
A legitimate boxer, but not a champion.
Right.
He's fighting a champion, although a very little champion compared to him.
Yes.
So this is sort of a, I don't know, man, like.
If it wasn't Gervonta Davis, it was somebody else in that weight category.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But Gervonta, I mean, his technique-wise and heart-wise, that makes it interesting. Again, kudos goes to Jake Paul because it kind of worked its way up, even though the guy is so much smaller.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm happy that Jake is bringing excitement to the sport and so forth, but you just have these like people fighting bears, and you know, there might be a boxing match with a weapon involved of some sort. Like people have sticks. Like I feel it's just getting more and more ridiculous. And really, outside of Crawford Canelo, there's really very little excitement over.
Commentators and trainers across the sport agree on one thing: Jake Paul has never faced anyone like Gervonta Davis. Davis has stood toe-to-toe with world champions, survived wars with knockout artists, and outclassed undefeated prodigies. He's seen every style, from pressure fighters to long-range snipers, and he's beaten them all. For Jake, this is a leap into uncharted territory. Even he admits that Tank represents something entirely new. During recent press runs, Jake openly acknowledged that Davis is different, sharper, faster, and far more experienced than anyone he's ever faced. That level of honesty shows respect, but it also reveals a quiet awareness. One mistake here could end everything. Jake knows that to win, he must transform completely, physically, mentally, and technically. This isn't a show. This is survival.
This fight, he's undefeated, highly skilled, most experienced fighter I've fought, top 5 pound for pound. So I have to have the best version of myself. I know how fast he is, I know how strong he is. I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight, but he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused, feeling amazing already, and just going to put on a performance and have the biggest fight of 2025.
Last one, I've seen some people say, oh, you know, Jake, you know, the goal here is just to survive. Knowing you that's not the case. You're not going in there to get through 12 rounds with Tank Davis. I would imagine you're going in there to win this fight.
Oh, absolutely. Tank's going to be the one surviving. I'm going to, you know, upset a lot of people. And again, they're going to have to say that there's some crazy excuse, fights are rigged. They can't use the steroid excuse because we have full-on random drug testing at any time. They could literally knock on my door right now. So they can't use that excuse. And obviously I'm suing people who say that the fights are rigged. Piers Morgan already had to retract his statement and kiss the ring. More lawsuits are coming for these people who are lying on my name because it's just simply not true, and we're willing to prove that in court. But I'm actually flattered that the only thing that people can chalk up these wins to is that the fights are rigged, because it's honestly the greatest compliment. But again, I'm gonna knock this guy out and probably create one of the most viral.
Public reaction has been nothing short of explosive. Some fans are baffled. Others are intrigued. Critics argue that the fight feels more like a spectacle than a true sporting contest, a collision born of fame and hype rather than rankings and belts. But still, no one can look away. The fusion of entertainment and elite boxing has always drawn attention, and this matchup embodies that fusion perfectly. Jake Paul's massive audience guarantees eyes on the sport, while Tank Davis brings the legitimacy of pure, raw boxing excellence. Love it or hate it, the world will watch. Even those who claim not to care will find themselves drawn to the screen when the first bell rings.
Was at cruiserweight. Chavez Jr. was a former world champion at middleweight himself, and that sort of made sense, and it was a good win for Jake Paul. You know, he come out there and, like, you know, he beats an ex-world champion, he gets a little bit of credibility, and you go, right, now you're heading in the right direction. You're starting to be, okay, all right, former champions, former fighters, but at least they're boxers, they're not MMA stars, you know, and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that was a move in the right direction. Gervonta Davis is just a little bit of a freak show for me.
Yeah, I agree, Spence. I mean, the size difference is a bit of an annoying one as well, but also as well, I hate when they put exhibition in it, because then you think how seriously they're really going to take it. I understand it because of the money involved, but realistically, if there can be a winner, Gervonta Davis should take him out regardless of the size pretty easily and pretty quickly.
I agree, mate. Totally agree. Gervonta Davis is an active fighter. Like I say, still a pound-for-pound star. Very heavy-handed as well. He should have the movement, forget the size, to be able to slip inside and take Jake Paul out. That's the reality of it. But Yeah, I just find it all very, very strange. Look, I thought an even stranger fight, to be honest, was Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. You look at that fight and go, who's going to sanction that? God forbid something happens to Jake. You know, I think that what he's doing for the sport is brilliant in his own right. You know, he's bringing new fans into the sport. He's doing excellent for women's boxing as well. You can't take that away from the kid, and he's been working hard as well, and he's improving. But going in against Anthony Joshua, a former two-time world heavyweight champion and still an active fighter, that's a suicide mission for me. I think that Anthony Joshua, when you look at Francis Ngannou and look at what AJ done to Francis Ngannou, who would win out of Anthony Joshua?
Former UFC brawler Mike Perry, never one to hold back, weighed in with a bold take. He pointed out that Davis hasn't delivered the same highlight reel knockouts in recent years that once defined him. But Perry wasn't criticizing, he was setting expectations. Fans crave chaos. They expect Davis to be a wrecking machine every time he enters the ring. That reputation is both a blessing and a burden. Now, facing a naturally larger man like Jake Paul, Tank must balance the art of boxing with the hunger for destruction. Can he produce another statement win? Or will the size and weight of his opponent test the limits of his explosiveness?
Big Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, I mean, Lamont Rhodes performed great. They went to draw, and, you know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80.
Boxing legend and strategist Teddy Atlas offered his own deep insight. He praised Gervonta Davis as one of the most complete fighters of this generation, not just because of his power, but because of his mind. Atlas explained that Tank's adaptability separates him from everyone else. He doesn't rely on a single style. He reads opponents, adjusts mid-fight, and dismantles them piece by piece. Atlas believes that Jake Paul's strength and size will matter far less once the fight begins. Technique beats power when the skill gap is this wide, he said. Tank has faced giants before, men who tried to use their reach and muscle to bully him. Every time, he found a way to break them down. Jake may be the bigger man, but Tank Davis is the better fighter in every sense of the word.
Guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch. And he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're gonna find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's gonna sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that, it's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that, but I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right, anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did evoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but it's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense. So, yeah, It's kind of like we've seen this already in that version of it, and we didn't really like it. I don't think I liked it that much.
Former rival Rolando "Rolly" Romero also spoke on Davis's abilities, showing respect despite their past tension. He admitted that Tank's resume speaks for itself: multiple world titles, unforgettable knockouts, and the ability to destroy fighters who tower over him. Romero reminded fans that this isn't the first time Tank has gone up against a bigger opponent, and it won't be the last. He's proved over and over that size doesn't matter when you can hit like that, Romero said. For Rolly, this fight is just another chance for Tank to remind the world who he really is, a generational talent who thrives when the odds look stacked against him.
Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying he should have took a fight with Lamont Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, me personally, it don't matter what my opinion is, but I don't think get the money while you can get the money is my opinion. But you know, some fans are gonna have a hard time.
No, it's not even about the money though, man. It's regardless of anything, yeah, get the money when you can get the money, but it's not even about the money. There's so much more to this sport in this world than just money, man. It's just do whatever you.
Whispers within the boxing community suggest that Gervonta Davis might be nearing the end of his journey. Insiders close to the camp claim that Tank has started to think about life beyond the ring, about stability, peace, and family. He's achieved everything: championships, sold-out arenas, highlight knockouts that echo through history. Now, the goal seems different. Financial freedom. Legacy. Closure. If those rumors are true, this fight with Jake Paul could be more than just another payday. It could be his curtain call. A final performance before the lights go out. And if that's the case, Tank Davis will want to walk away the same way he entered the sport, as a winner.
Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing. For sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates. Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur is a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him. What does that say about Tank? If you talk all that stuff, you...
Analyst Max Kellerman shared a similar perspective. He suggested that Tank took the Jake Paul fight not for legacy, but for leverage, the chance to secure generational wealth in one massive event. Facing Jake means no mandatory challengers, no dangerous weight cuts, and no drawn-out negotiations. Just one fight, one payday, and global attention. But beyond money, the story remains the same. This fight will be decided by rhythm and control. If Jake can use his size to back Davis up and make him fight off the ropes, he could surprise people. But if Tank establishes his timing early, if he finds that perfect range, Jake will find himself in deep trouble. Because when panic sets in, mistakes follow. And against Gervonta Davis, a single mistake can end everything.
I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting.
And that's where we leave it for today. The anticipation keeps building, the narratives keep clashing, and both men continue to prepare for one of the most unpredictable fights of this era. Whatever happens when the bell rings, one truth remains: this event has already made history. Stay tuned, because the story of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is far from over.